Good evening, everybody, and a very warm welcome wherever you are in the world to the W1 Sim Series Season 2. We are at the third social race. Time does fly by here, and overwhelmingly, you all in the community have voted for Bahrain to be the next social race. So that's where we are tonight. My name is Jess Ball. I'm going to be taking you through the proceedings for the qualifying and the race. Joining me for qualifying and doing production duties during the race, we've got Tom Knight. Tom, how you doing?
I'm doing very, very well. Looking forward to this one. Of course, Bahrain, one of those circuits that we visited on our Season 1 calendar. So it'll be really interesting to use that as a benchmark and a placeholder to see how far some of our drivers have come.
Yes, round 3 was where we raced in Bahrain, and the pole time was in the 27s, but I've already seen quite a few drivers nip into the 26s during practice, so I'm intrigued to see how they're going to do. And speaking of drivers, let's talk about our lineup, shall we? TK, want to go through who is racing this evening?
We absolutely can. The Alpine lineup is Alicia Hoflack and Willow Keeble side by side. Side by side? No, it's not. That's changed, isn't it? Have I got that wrong?
No, yeah, no, so you got the Monza lineup, TK.
I do. I've immediately messed this up. Bear with me, folks. Hold on. I must not have changed that. We fell at the first hurdle. Do not fear.
Yeah.
Nothing happened, folks.
Yeah. Nothing's happened.
No, exactly. You saw absolutely nothing. So, there we go. It's Olivia Collins and Sarah Hardy that line up side by side in the Alpines. It's Lily Bowling and Nicole Machuca side by side in the lean green racing machines that is the Aston Martin. It's Emma Clay stepping back into a Scarlet Ferrari alongside Carlotto Marchi, the hometown hero, the Italian stallion, with Regan Boylan and Katie Grafton taking up seats in the Haas cars. And finally, Charlotte Perkins and Lainey Milligan line up in the Papaya cars that are the McLarens. Why don't you take us through the other half?
Yeah, I gather that's what I was going to do that. In the McLaren, we've got Vanessa and Yvonne taking their second race in the W1 Sim Series. In the Visa Cash Out Racing Balls, we've got Angel Kirby making her second race, and Heather is back after a race off. We'll see how she does after just getting up. We have Jazz Luna and Farah in the Red Bull. We have Melissa Muller and Laura Nodding in the Kick Sauber, and we got Catherine King, who came second when we were last here in Bahrain, and we got Hannah as well joining her. And if Carl was here, he would probably be saying that Williams is the best team in the world, because of course he is. But I do believe TK qualifying has just started, and we're going to head to the Bahrain track with 80 minutes to go on the clock. And if you are brand new to F1 and the W1 Sim Series in general, all drivers have 18 minutes to set a competitive lap time, and the driver with the fastest lap, of course, will get pole position, and then we'll have a lobby restart so they can have the tyres available as well. And like I was saying earlier, 26s is what we could expect, but we have seen certain driving as proving as the season has gone on last season. But I would expect it to be a much closer grid than what we saw in round 3 last season. A lot of practice have been put into this race by all 20 of our drivers.
Absolutely right. Lots of preparation, get themselves ready. We have to remember a couple of drivers stepping in at very last minute as they filled some reserves. Lots of drivers who have had to, for one reason or another, to take a step back from today's racing, which gave us a great opportunity to make some images that went on our social media. So check our Instagram if you haven't done so already. But I must shout out, just before we get into qualifying proper, the work that the Venturi Studios boys have done here for the sponsor boards, the timing tower on the left-hand side. Massive round of applause to each and every one of them that was involved, because these look absolutely spectacular.
They do. They look absolutely amazing. Fair play, and they're going to be our graphics partner for Season 2, spoiler alert. So keep an eye on that for the rest of the season. I might put some sponsor boards when I race in the W1 Sim Series. Next, we have got Katie, who is just started their lap time, who's been called into race today. And this is a track where you got to use your ERS effectively. If you use hot lap or medium for the entirety of the lap, you're not going to make it last. So you got to use it to full effect as they make their way towards turn 5 and 6, the S's section. And it seems to me for some drivers going to be a banker lap for the time being. In towards turn 8. Doesn't use that much of the apex, but again, some of the drivers are getting used to the track. Don't forget, there's varying experiences here in the W1 Sim Series. Using non-ERS is advisable towards turn 9 and 10, because it's a very heavy braking zone, and the traction will be much better if you use it on none, which is exactly what she's doing. In towards turn 11, we're coming up to a very understeery part of the circuit, so keep your car as fully to the right-hand side as you can. Then move it over to the left as you enter turn 13, and she's purple sector 2, because of course she was one of the only ones to start a lap time for now. Through into this back straight, we have seen quite a few overtakes around here, but not as much as we've seen in previous races. Up to the final few corners, but I like to treat it as one corner, but it's 15 and 16. Up to the line goes Katie, and it is, to start the day, a 1:29.8, and we got one of the V-Cubs finishing off their laps. Angel Kirby, 29.3. Lady, her third race in the W1 Sim Series. She goes third fastest, TK.
She absolutely does. Into the 29s then for the very first runs of the afternoon. We expect that to get quicker as the track does warm up. And of course, more rubber gets put down on this circuit. Olivia Collins going fastest out of anybody so far. The first driver into the 128s in 1.3 seconds to the advantage of Angel Kirby at the moment. Lots of other drivers, though, on laps as they make their way round. Next across the line will be the Haas car, the late entrant of Regan Boylan, who's no longer Rustic Bone. They've changed their PSN name, which is both unfortunate and fortunate for themselves, but they put themselves up to 4th place. It's a Haas 3-4 as it stands on the grid at the moment, but both kick Saubers coming around the final few corners. Melissa Muller looking to make an impression, but no, into the pits on intermediate tyres.
So doing the intermediates pole lap, I like it. And if you watch a certain Creator Series league, then you will know why. So I love you already, Melissa. I love you already. But Olivia Collins, last week, TK, she was going to race, but unfortunately she had pedal issues, which unfortunately costed some... well, a DNF basically, so that's why we gave her a seat for this round, so we'll see what she could do in the race. Hannah goes up to the line in 3rd. Now that's very impressive. She got unlucky for a few times around Monza. Monza is very damage limitation for quite a lot of our drivers. Here's our Ferrari Esports driver. Here comes Emma Clay. She said she's not too confident around here, but from sources, from other commentators, from other drivers, Emma's looking quite good around here, and this looks like a very competitive lap to start with. Already in the 27s, TK. A 27.4. Emma, that is faster than what you did last season. Who says you're not confident? You're probably going to be confident after now.
The sky's the limit here in Bahrain. Not the only driver, though, into the 127s. It was Catherine Thielking that just followed her up towards the line. Just missed out by less than 0.2 of a second here into the 127, 6.24 for the Williams car at the moment. So drivers are starting to improve at the moment. The track temperature sat at a lovely 32 degrees. The air temperature around a 25, so you won't want to take any heavy jackets with you to the circuit. But I tell you what, as the night starts to draw in, as the race comes closer and closer, probably a little bit of a chill in the air will start to come in.
Yes, I think there'll be a few people just wanting to get quicker and quicker as the session goes on. Ideally, they would probably get 4 runs in some tracks, but in Bahrain, I think that's probably not possible. But at least if they abort one lap, they could just go into the pits quickly and start another lap. So for Melissa Muller, I'm quite surprised that she's not out straight away, to be fair. But one driver that had another late entrant was Jazz, who's in the middle of her lap at the moment. Vanessa, she's on a lap at the moment. She made a good first impression in the first social race in Belgium. Got a podium, I believe it was 3rd place. And she's looking like she could be a huge championship contender. We'll see how she does going into turns 12 now. Of course, Lee Woodward won the championship last season. And we know Catherine Thielking, when the commentators were speaking to her in Belgium, she is chasing down a championship to try and beat the likes of Lee Woodward, as Nessa got a bit of a toe, I think, from one of her teammates, which is quite impressive. And Vanessa goes up to the line. There's 2 Vanessas in the W1 Sim Series. Luckily, both of them not racing tonight, just the one of them. 4th fast at the moment, 28.1. Not quite in the 127s just yet, but it is early doors. I know she could do it.
Absolutely right. It was her teammate Yvonne Haufler that gave that toe down towards the final couple of corners. Stargazer Lily there just getting it all sorts of wrong through turn number 8. Easy to do. Very, very easy to do, especially at turns 8 and then 9 and 10 as well. The car wants to try and almost spin out on you to many degrees. Get yourself acclimatized to it. But that's what these social races are for. Get used to that league racing environment. Get yourself prepared and ready to go, because when we hit season 2 proper, we're going to be seeing so many consistency runs.
Yeah, so much consistency, so much more improvement. This is a time to go ambitious with the strategies. Try and practice wheel to wheel, because for some drivers, they have not raced against these drivers at all or in a league racing setting. So plenty of opportunities to have a less pressure environment. For some drivers, they just want a fun environment to race. But for some drivers near the front, they want to go for that championship. People have different expectations. And then you have people that are in the middle that just want to try and get the best results they can, and definitely want to improve. Angel Kirby, though, 29.3 is her lap time at the moment. She's just set a personal best first sector. She's 3/10 up in the first sector, so looking good so far. Was quite impressive in Belgium again, in the Red Bull, but now she's been, not demoted, but she's in the sister team, of course, for this week. Kirby's been very impressive in practice as well, but not as impressive in qualifying. But quite a lot of drivers saying that qualifying is not their speciality, it's the race pace. So we'll see what Kirby can do. She makes her way towards turn 11 and 12. Now, everyone's on the soft tyres, of course, and I think she's got to find, a chunk of time than that if she wants to challenge the likes of Emma, Catherine and Olivia in the top three.
Absolutely right. Lots of time to find, of course. Still looking similar track conditions down towards the final couple of corners, in towards, well, upwards of 300 kph in towards that final couple of corners. And you really need to run low wings as best you can here in Bahrain, because it is just a number of straights that come at you so thick and fast. And Angel Kirby now up towards the line. Can they improve? They can by 0.6 of a second, but it's not going to be in terms of where they stand on the leaderboard. It will stay in 7th place for now. We have got a great number of drivers just making their way round to start what will be their second laps of the afternoon. Whilst we're here, folks, and whilst we've got just over 8 minutes left in this qualifying session, why don't you let us know in the live chat, whether that be YouTube, whether that be Twitch, A, who you think is going to take pole position, and B, what the time for pole position is going to be. Get your guesses in now.
And Rio has put in the chat, and it's also on my notes as well, the pole position time in season 1:27.473, and we're already about 2/100ths slower than that. So already we're getting quicker than the season 1 pole time. And just like we said at the beginning of the session, drivers would have improved since their first lot of league races in W1 Series, especially the ones who have been here since the start, just like the top two at the moment, as Olivia's invalidated their run as they clipped the bollard, unfortunately, so they'll get to go again. And there is Farrett in 5th place at the moment, looking very impressive. And of course, there's a few of our graphics for us in the graphics team and also racing for us. They also invalidated, so that's them done. Regan, let's see if she improves on her run. I think she didn't improve much in the 3rd sector. What about the 2nd set? Actually, no, she's green in the 1st and the 2nd sector. Never mind. 28.758 1st sector, 38.3 middle sector. So they're improving all the time. Very close to the 129. She's very keen to get there. Of course, she's probably raced in most of the W1 Sim Series races since she was called up to race with us. She is a staple in the W1 Sim Series. Up to the line, she does get in the 129s, and quite comfortably a 129.446, just shy of Angel Kirby in P7. And I have to say, Regan looking very, very impressive in P8.
Very much so, and must commend her as well. First time, I believe, on a direct drive wheel, or any wheel with force feedback, from what I can understand. Got it only a day or so ago, and this is her first competitive environment, shall we say, under these conditions. Did a few open lobbies starting about 2 and a bit hours ago, but of course it's nerve-wracking, isn't it, going into this environment when you're on new equipment and not necessarily understanding the little quirks that come with it. But to put in a time that is within the top 10 at the moment, should be proud of that one.
Yeah, I started to learn direct drive, I think it was during the Women Esports Finals, and that's how the W1 Sim Series came about, because quite a few of us are racing that, saying, hey, we don't want to just stop there racing against other women, we want a league to take part in, and that's how the W1 Sim Series is born. And we've already beaten the Season 1 pole time in Bahrain, and it's done by the person who got pole that very day, Catherine Bilkin. But can Emma Clay do any better? Can she get in the 126? No, she can't, but she snatches that pole time by 4/10 per second, 127.0. Now, don't forget, she moved over to no traction control a few weeks ago, and she's already said she's a lot faster than when she was on medium traction control. And I have to agree with her. When you have some assists on for faster drivers, it really limits on how fast you can get around here. So if you just started, fair enough, keep those assists on. But if you have been racing for a while, just turn them off gradually, which is what Emma has done, and that is why she's shown to be the faster of the bunch. She's purple in the 2nd sector, but not in the 1st and 3rd sector. Phil King got it in the 1st, and Nessa got it in the final sector. But Nessa is improving all the time. Through she comes in through 15 and 16 in the Mercedes. Can she get into the 126s, or will she stay in the 127s? She stays in the 127s. Go for fastest.
Absolutely, good laps from everybody coming thick and fast at the moment, and we said that no one driver has got more than one purple sector as it stands at the moment, which really shows the disparity between straight line speed and I think the more cornering speed approach that Emma Clay is taking. She's purple in the middle sector, which you can see is a considerable a more number of corners, shall we say, than the first and the third and final sector, which are more considerable straights than anything else. So that is probably where Theo King and Nessa are both respectively improving, but it is one to watch out for when it comes down to race day. Of course, will we see those with the better straight line speed have the advantage? Will Emma maybe use some DRS and maybe a little bit of battery to keep up with them during those sections, and then use the benefit that she has through that middle sector?
The middle sector, there's some occasions where you can save quite a bit of battery, in particular towards not an 8, 9 and 10, where you can really save that battery with the heavy braking zone. And drivers that will probably do well in this race is the ones that manage those ERS effectively, because you can't use medium for the whole of the race. We'll touch about the race strategy in a few moments' time once we head to the races. Lily has gone for a spin through turn 9 and 10, and I think she is is proving on what we just said. Turn 9 and 10 is an absolute struggle, even at the best of times. I believe that was in lap though, or out lap, so she's okay. No, she was on a flying lap, because I can see her ERS being pushed. So she's probably going to dive into the pits. Luckily, we got plenty of time to go in the session, but I don't think she's going to make it. But the final laps are going to be in for a lot of our drivers now. Who's going to get par? We got some predictions in the chat. We've got the other Vanessa, who is predicting a 1:26.7 for Catherine Theo King. Ivor Bryn Mike's predicting a 1:27.0. Well, that's the poll at the moment. Mystic Mike, I should say there. And YouTube haven't got it right just yet, because we already beaten that. So the next time we're going to hope for is a 26.7. That's what I predicted in my notes as well. So Vanessa, could you read my mind there? But keep your predictions coming in the chat. I'm going to get my prediction in. I think it's going to be Emma that's going to get pole position. That confidence is really showing, even though she said she was not confident, she doesn't feel great. I think her having no traction has definitely helped out a little bit. So I'm going to say Emma pole position and a 26.9. That's my prediction. What about you, TK?
Always a tough one. I think it's going to be the battle between the top three at the moment, unless we see something pulled out of, I don't want to say thin air, because that's probably the worst way to sound it, but we have seen surprises at this circuit. I think the likes of, we think back to season 1 where we thought one driver was going to take it, and then in came Rebecca Morel from out of absolutely nowhere with a storming pole lap, sometimes just with a singular attempt at it. So who knows which way this is going to go. I'm going to place an early prediction. I think Theo King's taking this with a high 26.9.
Oh, okay. So we both predicted 1:26.9s for the respective drivers. So there we go. Last minute predictions, people. I think Rio Harris predicted 26.9 for Emma, and HTC is also predicting a 1:26.8. Keep those predictions coming in, folks. Emma's teammate for the night, Carlotta, is going into the line, and it's a 1:29.5 for them. Obviously got moved to the Aston Martin when Emma and Miss Nutrix got signed for Ferrari. It feels strange not seeing Nutrix on the grid, but she's watching along with us, and good to see her watch along. We hopefully will see her on the grid for the final social race. If not, maybe for season 2. Theo King is about to start their final lap, and she's going to need to pull off a whirlwind double lap in order to get pole. It's going to be a battle between the top 3. I don't think anyone else is going to beat that as well. You can see the halo as well. Absolutely beautiful. As you can see, she's keeping medium ERS until this bit. Then she's saving the ERS going in towards turn 2 and 3. And then once she goes straight, that's where she can start to burn the battery until she gets to turn 4, another heavy braking zone, and that's where you start to save the battery a bit more. Look how much apex she is taking, and she uses a bit of that curb through turn 5 and 6. Then she saves a bit of ERS again through this tight corner in towards turn 8, and then she is saving once again a little bit of a dab of the ERS through turn 9 and heading in towards turn 10. She takes that very nicely indeed. I'm trying to see what her set to times is at the moment. It's hard to see because our telemetry is not updating, but this looks like a quick one. She's using the ERS for good effect, but she hasn't got much ERS to use in the middle sector, TK.
No, not at all, especially when we got that long back straight to try and contend with down towards the final couple of corners. You'll want to try and save as much as he possibly can into this braking zone, because now it is pretty much flat out down towards the line, up past 250 kph, near to 300 kph, down towards the final corner. Can Theo King find the time she needs with the checkered flag flying down at the start-finish straight? She'll see that flag begin to fly. She'll know what she has to do. It will be up towards the line for Theo King. Comes across it, 27-1, misses out by less than a tenth of a second.
Very unfortunate for Catherine that she couldn't do it, so it will be up to Olivia and Emma to see if they could spoil the party. 36.9 middle sector for Emma. She's improving even more. She's personal best third sector, so can she be the one that gets in to the 126s? We did predict it in our notes. What could she do? It's a 126.917. I was pretty much spot on with my prediction, unless Vanessa, oh no, she can't. She's just had a spin in the final corner. She can't improve. So that is up to Olivia Collins now, who got second in qualifying last time out in Monza. Could she do one better and get pole here in Bahrain? She's going to get, as I think the Red Bulls blocked it ever so slight. Nope, she's not going to improve. Hannah, is she on the lap? She's improving sector 2. Didn't have the best sector 1 though. But she's going to stay. No, she's not. She's going to stay P6. But it is Emma Clay, the Ferrari esports driver, who is on pole. And she did say, like I was saying earlier, she did say she would struggle around this track. But she's gone and beaten Catherine Theo King at her own game. Well done to Emma. We'll see how she does in the race, of course, because she admits she struggles in the race. I don't think she was expecting that heading into the third social race of the evening.
I don't think so in the slightest, but what a lap we've just seen from Emma Clay. Put herself on pole position for the start of the Bahrain Grand Prix. And yeah, as we predicted, a 26.9 for the fastest lap attempt here this afternoon, and that will certainly give her a whole heap of confidence. Interesting to see though as well, not a single change in terms of fastest sectors before we got into the lap's totality. It was still only a purple second sector for Clay. Theo King still held the first, Nessa with the third. But Jess, why don't you run us through our grid order if we have time in 20 seconds?
I will try. I'll go very fast. So we've got Emma from Catherine Theo King, Olivia Collins, we got Vanessa Schaff, we got Farah, we got Hannah, we got Angel Kirby, we got Regan Boylan, we got Lainey, we got Nicole, we got Carlotta, we got Katie, Heather, we have got Ripley, we got Jazz, Yvonne, Lily, we got Sarah Harley that's just made her way back into the session, and Melissa Miller. Both of those drivers did not make it into the session.
Bravo.
we got through it. We got through it. Of course, Sarah joined late into the session, so that's probably why. But before we go into our little intermission break, any surprises do you think, Tom, before you disappear onto the producing duties?
I don't know. I think surprises is probably a bad word, but I've seen drivers up there that we haven't seen drive or haven't seen much of within W1. Obviously, we kind of know what to expect from our Season 1 drivers, the ones that have made more frequent appearances. But the ones that are coming for the social races, I'm talking your Vanessa, your Hannah Malmavera, we're talking, 4th and 6th respectively for those two drivers in qualifying. That's not an easy feat to do in this field. But the question is, can they then convert that when we get into the race situation? Because they're two different things.
Yeah, race pace is a lot different compared to qualifying, so we're going to see how it all goes. So thanks for joining us in Qualified TK. We're going to have a short few minutes break whilst we switch over commentators. So thanks for watching, and we will see you for the race. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the W1 Sim Series around Bahrain. Hopefully all of you have had a chance to have a bit of a drink before we go straight into some racing. But we have got a special guest in the commentary box, and it's another W1 Sim Series driver. They're going to be making their commentary debut this evening because they are not racing. And I'll give you a clue as to who is going to be joining me in the commentary box. This driver has raced in Season 1. Has had quite a few podiums, and this one is going to give it away. This driver won the first social race of Season 2. So if you haven't guessed it already, joining me in the commentary box, to my right-hand side, we have got Mrs. Pancake Maestro herself, Alexis Mason. Alexis, welcome to your commentary debut. First of all, what do you think of that qualifying session with Emma on pole? And it's great for you to be here.
It was amazing. We've got the second Ferrari on pole in this social race, because I got pole in Belgium, and now it's Emma running up front with pole position. Is it going to be a Ferrari win? Because so far in the social races, pole sitter has won.
Yeah, I think for two social races, yeah, the pole sitter has won, yeah. And we were told whilst we were in the interlude getting the commentators switched up that it was Emma Clay's first ever pole position. I thought she would have got one, but no, the only other poles we had was from Rebecca Morel, Catherine Fieldking got pole, Lee Woodward, and of course yourself in the Belgium social race as well. So Emma's had a few wins last season, but hasn't had pole, so now she's got something to add to that list, even though it's only a social race, but that still counts. But Bahrain sometimes can be a tricky track to convert pole to a race win. The last win we had was from Willow Keeble. She was meant to be racing it tonight, but unfortunately she is not racing tonight. But she's obviously with us in spirit. Good luck, Willow, on your exams. But Catherine Fieldking, her starting on the front row, she just missed out on pole. Great chance to try and get past Emma into turn 1, because it's going to be hard to overtake elsewhere.
Yeah, it does tend to be quite easy to overtake in turn 1 here. Same with turn 4 as well. I'd always be on the lookout for both those corners. So, could we see a change for that one? Because, if I remember correctly, in 2022, Verstappen and Leclerc were at it like half the race. So, would it be one where switching positions is going to be frequent? Or is someone just going to run off into the lead with it?
When you're in a DRS train, I was commentating a Bahrain race. It was a 35% race, but it was closer to a 50% race where there was a long DRS train for all of it. And even though there was some quicker drivers in the train, they couldn't overtake. So that means their pace really got compromised. So that's something, of course, to keep an eye on. But other drivers to keep an eye on, of course, Vanessa Schaff, new driver. She's got some pace, podium on debut, something to watch out for as well. Olivia Collins, flown under the radar in the qualifying session, starting in third. And as you can see, those are the drivers that are going to be racing today. But as you were saying when we were speaking earlier on today, she has struggled a bit on race pace. But with Bahrain being a low-tide dead track, this could be a blessing in disguise for her. She's got to keep defending that position if she wants a podium, because she unfortunately missed out on the opportunity because of her technical issues. Hopefully she won't have it today, because she's ever so quick on her day, but she's got to now have consistency.
Yeah, of course, really unlucky technical difficulties. We don't want to be seeing that, but unfortunately with hardware, it does do it sometimes. But it'll be interesting to see if she can take a fight to the win.
Yeah, plenty of drivers that could go fighting for the win. Of course, Charlotte Perkins is back. It's an interesting thing about Charlotte Perkins, actually, because according to the notes that Rio provided to us, thank you, Rio, who's in the chat, she actually started near the back of the grid. Last time we were here in Bahrain, P19 she was, and she came to finish on the podium. She does like this circuit. She knows the strategy does work around this. Just because she's going to be starting near the back, that doesn't mean she's going to find it hard to go through the field. She has done it before. She gained 16 places where we were last here, round number 3. Anything is possible. And the momentum is on her side. She won Monza, and she got pole as well, which was very impressive. Another one to add to the stat. I don't think she's going to win today, but a podium could be still on the cards, because her pace in general is very, very good. It depends on what strategy she starts with. Whether she's going to start on the mediums or the hards, Probably starting on the mediums for her, I think, so she can make her way through the field, starting near the back of the grid, just like she did when we were here in season 1, Alexis.
Well, I actually say I would not count Charlotte out for a win because she was wrapping season 1 and we don't know what's going to go on in this race. She could get a lightning start and be in P5 by turn 4. She could have a terrible start and spin. We don't know. Because I wouldn't count her out for a win. I'd say it's unlikely. But I'm not going to count her out. She could still win this.
That is a good prediction, I have to say. Get your prediction in the chat on who you think is going to win. And Willow in the chat is saying that Charlotte will do the alternate strategy. I'm used to Charlotte doing the alternate strategy when I race with her as well, because then when I see her flying past me, I'm like, oh God, she's on the faster tire. But we are about to get going then for the main racing here in Bahrain. 29 laps await our drivers at this 5-kilometre circuit. And here we go. There's a few DRS zones to match as well. Of course, you've got the start finish straight in towards turn 1. Then you've got turn 3 and 4. And of course, you've got turn 10 in towards turn 11. But we haven't seen, of course, many overtaking there. So we'll see what the drivers will have to face today. I'm just seeing if we've got any predictions. We've got Antibolosis saying Hannah Sheila for top 5 here. I think she's got this. And Willow say, I know Charlotte very well. She likes doing the alternative strategy when she's at the back. It does depend, doesn't it? When you're at the back, you may want to go for a different strategy over to everybody else. When you're at the front, you may want to try something different. But I know some people would probably go for the mediums anyway. It's
a gamble going hards at the start because I find they have significantly less grip. From my use of hard starting, it's usually ended up in the barrier because I think I've got way more grip than I do, and I just bin it.
Yeah, I tend to bin it on the hards when I first started. I remember, I think it was us two in Qatar when I think you started on the softs and I started on the hards. Completely different beast. I said to myself, I'm never going to be starting on the hard tyres again, and that was the end of that.
So I also said I'm never going to start on the softs again because that was an interesting strategy.
But to be fair, you did climb. You did climb. I think quite a lot of positions during that race in Qatar. Who knows? We may race that in the final social race, and the poll will be open in about a week's time for that. Because of course we've got F1 sim racing next week, which is why we're not racing next week. We will be racing the week after. So keep an eye on our socials as to when you in the community can vote, and it will be on Instagram. And please pick a good track, because I don't want to be racing something horrible. Yes, I will be racing in the final race, but yes, do not pick something horrible, please. But the tracks that we got selected will be up to the wheel, not down to us anyway. So if the wheel decides to pick 3 bad tracks, I'm going to cry. Trey Superfly saying a Heather masterclass. Lee saying Emma or Catherine for the win, but obviously she's rooted for a McLaren win. Vanessa saying Heather in the top 10 for sure. No, Mike, no, not that track, please. I hope that's not on the wheel. There we go. You like Baku as well. But Heather, top 10 last time out we saw her in Belgium. Is the top 10 on the cards today for her?
Maybe. We don't know. Again, in practice she didn't look very confident, but anyone can put it out of the bag. It's a race. You don't know until it's over. She could win it.
Yeah. Anyway, we're about to get racing in the W1 Sim Series of 5. Lights are lit, and we already got a jump start for Regan Boylan, but we are underway. That's a pretty even start for Emma Clay and Catherine Fieldking, as we already see some end plate flying about at the back. But Catherine Fieldking gets the run off of Emma Clay towards turn number 1. Vanessa also gets a good run, 2 side by side in towards turn number 3, using all that battery now to good effect in towards turn number 4. A few people dropping down positions in the background. Hannah's made their way up into 5th place as yellow flag in the background. That's one of the Mercedes of Yvonne. They've spun round, and their afternoon has not gone very well indeed. But the ones who have gone well are Carlotta. She's made some ground, and so is Katie's. Angel Kirby got past Laney for P7, but I did say, Alexis, Catherine needs to get that start off of Emma off the line, and she has done it. As all know, Farah's had a bit of an off as we head towards turn 10, Alexis.
Super unfortunate for Farah, but like we were saying, Charlotte Perkins, P9, already. That is a
Wow.
tremendous start for Charlotte, up 11 positions.
That is incredible. I was not expecting her to climb this many positions in that short space of time. So it's showing that our predictions for her to get on the podium definitely still on the cards, as we already got a time penalty for Lily in the background in 18th position, but we got one of the Alpines going side by side. That is Olivia Collins on Nessa. Olivia Collins was in 4th place, but now Vanessa is going to jump into 3rd place as we're on lap 2 of 29, as Emma's now under pressure. It's going to be free wide as Nessa goes round the outside of Emma in towards turn 1, but can they make the move stick? No, she can't, as Emma Clay pulls off a fantastic exit towards turn 2, and a good bit of traction for her as well, as Emma is now through. But how much longer as Vanessa fights back in towards turn 4, but again she can't make the move stick. Emma knows when to fight back here. They're still going to go side by side. Emma's had a bit of an off, and that's giving advantage to Olivia Collins in towards turn 8. This is great racing. A bit of a lock-up for Emma Clay there. She runs a bit too deep in towards turn 8. Olivia Collins is through. Nicely done from the pair of them. Both of them making mistakes there, but on the other hand, Olivia had the advantage and it's in P3. But let's look at the replay of this fantastic battle, Alexis. I couldn't stop watching it.
It's amazing. But if you do notice, both Emma and Filking are both on the hards, whereas Vanessa and Collins are both on the medium tyres. So that's the grip advantage taking place early on.
With Filking on the hard compounded tyres, and with her leading like that, because of everyone else around them battling, she can concentrate on getting that clear air. And around Bahrain, if you get out this DRS train in the lead and you can have that clear air, you can keep the consistent pace. She is showing consistent pace all the way through so far, and with Emma losing all that position, that's really going to cost her, as we already see some pitters as Regan has gone to serve their drive-through, so that's why they're down. They didn't serve. Oh, never mind. Regan didn't serve it, but she's dropped down anyway, so they have to serve it in this lap, otherwise they'll get disqualified. Meanwhile, Hannah has got past Laney once again. Laney flying under the radar at the moment, but doing very well in P6, doing a great job for the McLaren. Lee's going to absolutely love this, as Laney gives some space to Angel Kirby in 6th place. Nicely done from the pair of them. Melissa Muller used to be running in the top 5, not quite there yet, but if any of those drivers make a mistake, there's an opportunity ready for them to pounce here right now. Olivia Collins, though, her tyre deg is starting to get the best of her, as Vanessa is catching up to where we got a front wind change for Charlotte Perkins. So she's climbed her way up 9, like so many places, Alexis. But now she's going into the pits to serve some front wing damage. And Regan is now just gone serve a drive through, so no disqualification there. But our prediction, unfortunately, is come bad, and it's a commentator's curse for both of us. So congratulations, Alexis. You got your first commentator's curse on F1 25. Well done.
Well, first time for everything, first time commentating, and first time for commentator's curse. Sorry, Charlotte.
Yeah, sorry, carry on.
But we had Stargazer Lily off track, yellow flag in sector 2 at the moment. She's had a couple of offs there. Hopefully she can get back going and go on strong. While we're watching the fight for P2, will Vanessa have a run up to turn 4?
Yeah, I think some people, if they don't have much ERS left, they have to stick behind in towards turn 4, otherwise they won't be able to get the move. This is the point of the race before they pit onto a set of the hard compounded tyres. If they haven't got that much ERS to use, then that's where they're really going to struggle. Nessa is doing the right thing, saving that battery when she can't get the move. And if you're on that DRS train, if you could save the ERS and stay in the train, then this could work wonders for you. But if you have to burn the ERS to stay in the ERS train, that's where you're going to be left vulnerable to the drivers in front and behind. And we do have Hannah actually catching up to this DRS train. We've got a DRS train almost reaching out to P8 of Melissa Muller. As you can try and see, Hannah's trying not to give Kirby the slipstream in the background as we enter turn 11. Hannah gained 1 place off the start. So already making moves so far there. We've got quite a few warnings from some of our drivers, but majority of drivers are keeping it relatively clean on the track so far, as Farah chasing down Sarah Hardy. Sarah Hardy, don't forget, didn't even qualify because she couldn't get into the lobby. She's up into 12th place. She likes this track. I think she finished about 9th or 10th place when we were last here. Doing a great job so far. And it's her first race back. I think it's her first race back in season 2. I don't think she's raced for us in the social races. So welcome back, Sarah. And she's doing a great job in P12.
During start, indeed. That is really good to see with Sarah Hardy up 7 or 8 positions. I think it's 7 because
yeah, I think she started last. So yeah, 8 positions for Vanessa Hardy. Oh no, 18th. Never mind. Because I think a few people can get into the lobby and spit. I swear to God, this is the second driver I cursed today. Sarah, I'm so sorry. And 2 drivers or commentators cursed. As soon as I talk good about her, boom, she gets a penalty. That's her first penalty of the day. Yeah, and she unfortunately she's got a bit of damage, both front and right. So yeah, that's going to compromise her, and that is going to allow Barrett to close up on Sarah Hardy. So I wonder if they made contact somehow, but it is hard to tell, of course, because we were following the leaders. We do have a spinner. I think it's one of the Aston Martins of Lily. So Lily in the walls once more. But don't forget, some of these drivers are brand new to league racing and still getting used to maybe some assists, because there might be some drivers that have turned off assists for the first time, so they're still getting used to maybe having less traction than they did. Whoa, you wouldn't expect people to go side by side there. There we go, as Farah left no room on the table, and that was a great move, actually. She had to go for it there, really, because otherwise she would have got held up by Sarah Hardy with their front wing damage. So good job for them. And as you probably noticed, because of that bumping towards turn 1, you can see people using the pit lane line to try and get in some extra time, which is definitely helping if your name is Hannah or Angel Kirby. And we got Nicole, actually, who's up into 9th place, so she's having a good race so far. And if it was a normal W1 Sim Series race, they'll be on for some decent points right now, as Sarah Hardy decides to stay out, which, fair enough, fair play, but I don't think a yellow front wing is not going to work good around it. You're going to lose so much time coming into the pits later on. But of course, we forgot to say about this, it is predicted to be a one-stop race with no safety car. And for most people, they started on the hard, so they will try and get those mediums to about a lap 11 to 12 laps. Lap 10 will be the earliest. Lap 13 will be the optimal to get to the end of the race. For those on the hards, lap 15 and 16 is where we will expect people to come in. And you can see the tyre life on your screen. So those are the optimal times that people can stay on those tyres. And luckily, we won't have to see the intermediates unless the gods... the gods open and start to put sprinklers in, just like they do in real life testing. But luckily it's going to be dry, as you can see. So unfortunately for any wet weather lovers, you're not going to get that, unfortunately. But the battle for the second place is still going strong, with Olivia Collins in P2 leading that train, Vanessa Schaff in P3, Emma Clay in 4th place. Catherine Filking not pulling away to these front lot as much as she would have wanted. But to be fair, still 2.3 seconds is still a lot in W1 Sim Series standards if you're chasing down that victory. As we got Heather, by the way, that's got past Sarah Hardy and Jazz, as Sarah Hardy finally, Alexis, comes into the pits.
That is not a surprising pit from Sarah Hardy. The front wing damage would have been killing both the time and the tyres. Because front wing damage, especially with these long corners around Bahrain, it's not easy to do.
Yeah, so our front wing is being repaired off the car. Of course, she was in the fan zone in Miami, and she got some great opportunities with Red Bull last week as well, which I was very, very jealous. So good on Sarah Hardy for repping W1 in that event. I hope you had a lovely time there, Sarah. As Jazz, by the way, has got quite a few penalties to her name so far. How they could pick up so many penalties in a short space of time, I do not know, but she's got to get their act together. yellow flag once more, but I think it's just people just moving out the way, or there's lots of action going on. I think it might just be a glitch, a phantom yellow flag. We got our first pitter. That is Lily, who's going into the pits for a broken front wing. That was what the yellow flag was for. So she's going to apparently get one of those stops out of the way. And for newer experienced drivers, where tyre wear is going to be hard to get used to, they might try the 2-stop. They may not be used to the 1-stop, because the tyre wear on F125 is so much harder in F124. You can make a 1-stop work on F124. In F125, a lot harder. And if you're brand new to league racing, they got to get used to it, because the more experienced drivers will know how to make the 1-stop work, when to pit, when to save tyres, because you can't push 24/7, 100% for the whole 29 laps. It's just not impossible. You've got to be as smooth as you can, because otherwise you're not going to make it. So for some people, the ones that have got the more experience, that they're going to be able to stretch those tyres to about a 12, 13 lap window in order to make their tyres last to the end of the race. These three bunch, Olivia Collins, Vanessa and Emma, they're staying in this train for a long period of time here, all different tyres. We got Olivia and Vanessa on the mediums, Emma on the hards, and can't get past. It just shows if you're on a DRS train, unless you're like at the front of the train, you just can't overtake. So I wonder if Emma's going to save a bit of ERS here in order to burn a bit. Or if I was Olivia or Vanessa, maybe pit early on lap 10 to cover off these ladies to try and get the undercut.
We have an off in sector 2, as I think that's Heather. Yes, that is Heather going off track. Hopefully she can get back on track and all racing. She looks fine, no damage visible, which is good for her. But yes, the top 4, apart from Filking, because Filking has just ran away 3 seconds on those hard tyres. She's going to be rapid at the end of the race. She just lost out in Spa to myself, actually. And looks to be making a great impression here. Good chance for a win here.
And interesting fact, actually, in terms of laps led, she only led 4 laps in the Bahrain Grand Prix last time out in round 3 of season 1. Now, she's led all 9 laps so far in the social race, in the third social race. So she's already doing better than what we saw in season 1 for her. So it just shows the drivers are improving all the time. And if you don't learn on how to improve from a track after each race, then your performances will just become standard. So Filky would have looked at the Bahrain race that we did last season and thought, how much time did I lose here? How much time can I gain here? And maybe that she could have probably watched other POVs and saw how they were gaining time as well. Phil King has done their homework. Phil King was in a championship fight last season, and she definitely looks comfortable to put the challenge to Lee Woodward this season, and I can't wait. But we do know these drivers that you're seeing on your screen right now could also put the challenge. Oh, Laney has picked up a penalty. She's running down in 8th, which is very, very good. Her first appearance on the Steam platform. She was on Xbox. She's now moved to Steam, and moving over from console to Steam, it's quite tricky. For speaking from experience, it does take a while to adapt because you'll have so much more grip to contend with. And she's doing well there, as Melissa, by the way, is in 6th for now. As we have more pitters. We got our first pitter already, Alexis, from our leading bunch. Angel Kirby has made their first stop of the evening. A bit early, I would say. I think they were on the mediums. I don't think they can make the hards work till the end. They got to do some massive tyre saving. So unless they're going to be turning to Alexander Albon, like we saw in Australia a few seasons ago, I don't think it's going to work, but you never know. Oh, she's on soft. Okay, that's definitely a 2-stop race for Angel Kirby then.
Yeah, definitely a 2-stop. Taking a gamble, is that going to be the fast strategy? The softs are actually pretty good around this track. And remember, because of the reset between qualifying and the race, you have all your softs fresh, which is very beneficial coming into later in the race, especially if there's a late safety car.
Which we didn't get last season. We haven't had many safety cars last season, apart from Japan, where we had, I think, 2 or 3 safety cars. And there was plenty of races that I think we were both involved in, where we wanted a safety car, but we didn't get one. So I think it's good that we got no safety cars for the time being, because it allows us lot to see people's pace. And We can see one of the front leaders is pitting, and Olivia Collins has got a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. And unfortunately, speaking from experience, it's so easy to do around here to get that 10-second penalty to their name. And sometimes it's probably just easier just playing it a little bit cautiously. You'll lose less time by coming into the pits at a decent speed than overshooting it and getting a 10 seconds. Her chances of the win for Olivia Collins, unfortunately, they have fortunately fallen as they're going to drop down to 10th for now, but plenty of people pitted. So that's probably good news if you're Clay or Vanessa. As long as you don't speed, you're going to finish ahead of them as it's down, because you probably got similar pace. Shame for Olivia, because she was running in a decent position. Good race pace she had, chasing Emma Clay and Vanessa Schaff.
That's really unfortunate for Olivia Collins. First, she had hardware problems last week, and now this week a really unfortunate 10-second penalty, because sometimes you're 1-2 miles per hour over and you get stuck with a 10-second. It's unfortunate. Speeding is speeding. Side by side with Angel Kirby. Wow, in towards turn 8 there, and that was absolutely fantastic for the V car. But Heather has had another moment. It looks like, oh no, Heather and Farah are having a battle. Farah was the one that went off, even though she's had purple sector 1, so that was a bit unfortunate between those two. I just saw Olivia getting past Nicole up to 6th place, so those soft tyres coming into their own a little bit. No, it's not the soft tyres, never mind, just trying to remember. She's on the hards, so yeah, she's on the hard compound tyres for Olivia, or someone else that was on the soft compound tyres. There's so many drivers to keep an eye on. Let us know which driver you're supporting in the live chat, and someone just said yes, there was a safety car in Abu Dhabi. Yes, I think there was one. I think there was one safety car. Yeah, I got screwed by the pit lane glitch, unfortunately, which was quite sad. But luckily, I got those removed as Vanessa comes in. And good news, everybody, Vanessa Schaff does not get a speeding in the pit lane penalty, so a chance for a comfortable podium is much on. But that undercut, well, it's costed her. With Olivia having some clean air and being able to get past quite a few drivers, she has gained 3.8 seconds on Vanessa Schaff. So if I were Emma and Catherine, I'm going to be a bit worried if I was in P1 and P2 right now. We've got more pitters being put into the background, as Nicole, I believe, has just pitted. Quite a lot of drivers at the back of the grid have pitted. As Katie has gone on to set up the mediums. Nicole's on to set up the hard tyres now. Carlotta is on to set up the hards. Sarah Hardy's on the hards. As the Aston Martin has gone from moving to turn 4, as we've got more pitters coming in. We've got Ripley into the pits. So I wonder if they're going to go onto the hards too. If they go onto the softs, again, they won't make it. So I expect to see white striped hard tyres for the Kicks Albert. Yeah, they go onto the hard tyres. So they come out. And I would expect it be very close between them. Oh, what's happened there? What's happened there? I saw a V-carb of Heather go almost into the wall. Be careful, you don't want to get more front wing damage. That's cost her quite a bit of time, unfortunately. I did not see a lot of what happened between Heather and the cars around her, but she wouldn't have wanted that, and she was battling with quite a few cars around there. Oh, she hasn't got damage. That's very
okay, that she was very lucky, but I did see front end plates flying about on that part of the circuit, so I wonder who has got damage there, as it might have been Carlotta. I don't know. But yeah, I did see some end plates.
Huge damage for Nicola there. And just
it was Nicole.
Hards. So they're going to have to make an unscheduled pit stop there.
Yeah, Nicole has to come. Oh, never mind. They're staying out, probably hoping for a safety car. I wouldn't if I were you. I would have come in. You're going to lose so much more time and be a pretty much a danger on the track if you have that front wing damage, unfortunately. And they may not have the hard tyres left. I would have probably gone for the harder tyre compound option around this truck, just in case you get damaged, just in case you get a safety car. The safety then start on the hards and then do a bit of the mediums. Then you can easily go onto the hards until the end and you just don't get compromised. Alexis, the Aston Martins are not having a good day, are they? One Aston Martin having front wing damage and Lily, unfortunately, having a bit of a spin down in last place. But at least all 20 drivers are in this field and are still racing as we head towards turn 9 and 10. Good fighting between Jazz and Katie right now for 10th place, and it's real life points in Formula 1, but in W1 it's going to be decent point if it was a real race in W1. So heading in towards turn 11, side by side, you wouldn't necessarily try and go for the move there, but these two are going to be brave, giving as plenty of space as possible. I think Katie's going to back out of this one. She's probably going to try and go for send. I wouldn't do it if I were you. No, she does not. She decided enough's enough there. But she's got plenty of ERS, as you can see. She's going to try and go for it there. I wouldn't have gone it there if I were you, because your rival Jazz is going to get some DRS heading in towards this start-finish straight, unless one of these two drivers could potentially, because Jazz, don't forget, still got to box. Katie has done 2 laps on those meetings, but Jazz is trying to do the one stop, whereas Katie can't make this one stop work unless they're going to probably go on softs at the end. So I think Jazz has got the advantage at the moment, but for Katie, they're probably going to go on softs at the end, because on 2 lap on mediums, that's not going to go to the end. If I were her, pitching on lap 11 from hard tyres, it definitely did not work.
Did not work. That will definitely be a 2-stop, because hards will not go that far. We've got Catherine Field-King, who's just cruising 5 seconds in the lead over Emma Klein, but Olivia Collins and Vanessa will be rapidly catching her. But she will have the better tyres for the latter half of this Grand Prix, but she will have to make those moves for the win. But we have got currently Olivia Collins is 6.5 seconds ahead of Vanessa with 1 lap older tyres. But she get out of the 10-second range to potentially beat Vanessa after the time penalty is added.
We'll have to wait and see, of course, because it won't get removed, because, of course, it's speeding in the pit lane, and pit loss time around here, 22.5 seconds, and already Olivia is closing. But don't forget, from League racing experience, the hard to medium strategy is OP if you can get past it. I've seen, when I was commentating on the Bahrain race yesterday, 35%, when people pitted late onto the soft tyres, I was like, no, they're not going to do it. They're not going to close in because of the undercut on the hard runners. They did, and they were, one of the soft runners managed to win the race on track. So it's still doable for Catherine and Emma, and Hannah in particular, to try and close in on the drivers that are on the hards, because they're going to be on the better tyres later, and try and go for the moves, because they're going to have the better tyre offset. So the race for the win is not over, but I know Olivia Collins has got to make sure she has a 10-second gap anyway, which is going to be, I think, very difficult. And if you haven't done so already, everybody, please like the stream if you're on YouTube, and also hit that subscribe button and hit that bell if you are new. More penalties from our drivers, and also if you're on Twitch, make sure you give us a follow. And of course, we are on W1 Series on Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram. Make sure you give us a follow there. We post lovely clips of the races as time gone by, and also go through the results as well. And on Instagram, in about a week's time, you'll be able to vote for which of the tracks our drivers are going to be going racing for the final social race. And if you don't see your favourite driver on the grid tonight, they might be racing in the final social race. And there's certain drivers that'll be making their W1 Sim Series debut in the final race. And I'm not going to say who, because it's going to give it away. But I'll give you a hint. It's someone that's got recently signed to Alpine. So if you don't know who it is, then you're probably living under a rock at the moment. But Catherine, she's getting to a point where she's going to potentially going into pit. According to our strategy options, lap 16 is the optimal time to come into the pits for her. But do you think, since we saw people in the meetings pitting so early, do you think she would have the opportunity to extend 1 or 2 more laps?
I think she'd probably come in more likely lap 17, lap 18, because you'll just get the fresh tyres, and you're not at an immediate risk of Emma if she goes for the undercut, because Emma is 5.5 seconds behind Field King, as we see Nicole in the pits repairing that wing damage from earlier.
Yeah, that took a while for her to get that front wing repaired, but at least she's got that repaired, down in 16th place. A few drivers seem to be struggling, as we've got the first bar hard runners pitting, and that is Hannah. So Hannah doing a fine job, actually, in Bahrain. Struggled a little bit in Monza, but she's definitely redeeming herself here in Bahrain, and she could be a threat in terms of battling near the front as well for the main season, if we ever see. I'm just trying to remember where she finished. She was actually last. She DNF'd. So that's definitely a redemption story and a half if she can end up on the podium. So she's going on to the medium tyres, and she's already 11.7 seconds back off of Nessa. It's going to be hard to get that offset so she can get the moves done, but anything is possible in the W1 Sim Series. Charlotte Perkins makes her way past Carlotta Markey and up into 13th place. And it would be points if it was a normal W1 Sim Series race. We've got the Red Bull pitting. The first of the Red Bulls to pit, and that just leaves, I think, one or two drivers, actually no, 4 drivers actually, still yet to make their one and only pit stop. They definitely want to make the one stop work here. So that's Catherine Filking, Emma Clay, Jazz Una, and Heather still yet to make their one and only pit stops, and all of them will potentially go on to the medium compounded tyres. And we are seeing Catherine Filking, our race leader, coming into the pit a lap earlier than Rio was predicting in the chat. Been leading from start to finish here. And we'll see if she can hold on to it. She's on to the medium tyres. She's probably seen that Olivia Collins has got the fastest lap. She's already ahead. We'll see how powerful that undercut is. So where is Catherine Filking going to come out? She is going to come out in 3rd place, 16.5 seconds off of Emma Clay, but about 8 or 9 seconds behind Olivia Collins. But don't forget, Olivia Collins has got that 10-second time penalty. So unless she can clear Catherine Filking by 10 seconds, which in my opinion, Catherine has got the pace, I think it's safe to say, unless Catherine makes a mistake, she could be on to win this race. 6 seconds and then closing rapidly. Yeah, I don't think my prediction's going to change, Alexis. I think with the pace she's got already on trying to close in, as we got a spinner, that's one of the Hasses that's had a spin. And, she's gone into the runoff area, and that is Regan out. And we have got a safety car. Yeah, a safety car.
This is absolutely amazing for Emma Clay, who has not pit yet. And it's also amazing for Olivia Collins through penalty. So Catherine Filking, by going that one lap early, might have just cost her the win, as Heather picks up an unfortunate after the amazing top 10 finish in Spa. Does not seem to be a repeat of that top 10, but we never know. Anything can happen.
And I think one driver I feel bad for is Hannah, because she was in P5 as she pitted a lap early. She's probably absolutely gutted that that safety car has come out, but and that's also good news for if you were doing a 2-stop. We have 2 drivers that were on the soft tyres in their middle stints. That was Angel Kirby and the driver that's in the second Red Bull Farah. So they are on the hard compounded tyres now, and they could go to the end of the race. No problemo. Interestingly, Sarah Hardy stays out, so that's going to be interesting. I thought if you had spare mediums left, definitely come into the pit lane. Melissa Muller comes into the pit, of course, running in 6th at the moment. Interestingly, Olivia comes into the pit to serve her penalty, which is fair enough. Lainey comes in again, I think, to serve that 10. No, she didn't have the 10-second, but you can't serve that 3-second. Hope she remembers that. But it is Catherine Filking got very lucky there, because despite Emma pitting on the safety car, where you lose so much time in the pits anyway, because Catherine Filking was able to pull some great sector times in a first out lap on those medium tyres, she's able to stay ahead of Emma Clay, and that was very, very important. So Catherine Filking, again, leads this race, but it's going to be a tall order to see if she can keep it, because she's got a charging Emma, who's going to be on the same amount of tyres. Hannah's now in 3rd. Olivia's going to be a threat in 4th. Everyone's now on the me's or the hards, except Lily, who's on the soft, which she's got nothing to lose at this point. But someone's asked in the chat, what did Regan do? She lost it coming out of turn 9 and 10, and she hit the wall, and that's what ended her race, unfortunately. And I'm sorry, Vic. I swear my jinxing is an absolute nightmare tonight, but there we go. So while we got this rake period towards the safety car. We've got many stories to talk about, Alexis. We got Hannah in P3 after DNFing last week. Nessa dropping down to 5th, but is on the medium tyres. Jazz staying out on the hards. Well, that's going to be, I think, tricky for them as well. Katie got a redemption story for her. She was able to put onto the hards, which could definitely get to the end now. And what could Charlotte Perkins do? Pitting onto the mediums from 13th place. We saw her come from last before. The podium's on the cards. But if you got a 3-second penalty now, or 10-second penalty, that safety car has probably come at a worse time.
Yes, indeed. Like, you got Lainey, Jazz, Grapho, all with penalties. Same with Sarah. Those penalties are going to be more effective now because the field's been bunched up. But it's going to be a huge fight for the top 5. Hannah getting the undercut because of the one stop compared to Olivia and Vanessa, and Olivia on the hard tyre. She'll be slow on the restart because the tyres will be cold, but I reckon that 27, 28 and 29 she'll be fighting strong.
Yes, she will, I think. I think that is where it's going to come into our own a little bit, but even then, if you're still in a DRS train, it's probably going to be a bit difficult for her as Jazz comes in then. So, yes, I thought she was going to come in because there was no way she was going to stay out on 90 lap on hards and she was going to have to pit. Anyway, so through she comes. She wants to probably stay on the fastest tyre available. So get your predictions in the chat. Do you still think Catherine Dilking is going to win this race? If you're watching on Twitch or YouTube, or do you think Emma, Hannah or Olivia Collins has something to say about it? Could Vanessa Schaff come from 5th on the grid to win this race? And we got a raid, actually. A massive shout out to Red Bull Sim Racing, of course. A bit of bias because I do represent them in W1 as well. So massive shout out to you and welcome on. So we got Catherine in P1 at the moment, Emma in P2 and Hannah in P3. We've got 19 drivers. Who do you think is going to have a lot of potential going into the last 9 laps, do you think? Who do you think is going to surprise us?
So, of course, Emma Clay, she's got the freshest tyres of the bunch in the top 5. Vanessa, very rapid in quali, very rapid in Spa, coming P3 there. But I think Olivia Collins will have a lot of grip at the end of the race, but probably wants the safety car to come in as soon as possible, because those hards need the time to warm up and need the time for the mediums to burn up.
Yeah, so the hard runners, they're probably going to be just sitting back at the moment, waiting until the mediums start to burn up a little bit. And then once they get on to lap 25, lap 26, we were saying, that is potentially what's going to happen. So we have got some predictions in the chat. We've got Miyuki Panda. Hello. Well, welcome into the chat, my friend. She thinks that Emma's going to be converting that pole into a win. And the Red Bull admin saying this restart is going to look juicy. I agree. It's going to look very juicy indeed. I do believe the safety car will come in at the end of this lap. We will just wait for, I think, everyone else to catch up. For those of you that are wondering what happened to Regan, which caused the safety car, it was this corner here, turn 9 and 10, lost it, and someone even said in the chat that turn 9 and 10 was Regan's nightmare, and unfortunately that put her out of the race. And Regan, if you're watching, you had some good pace up until that point. Very unfortunate. Hopefully we will be able to see you for season 2. And interesting stat, actually, Jazz was out on the hards for the longest out of anybody. No one else was on the tyres for that long, 19 laps, as the safety car is in this lap, as Catherine Dilking is going to beat the Bert Mylander, as the safety car will pull into the pit lane. Now, there are many times where you probably have not done restarts before, and in this league, and in any league, if you haven't, your gut instinct is to go like as soon as you get to the final corner. But you've got to keep an eye on when the safety car comes into the pit lane, because if you're the leader, the car limits you until the safety car comes into the pit. So Catherine Dilking is going to go. She's going to leave it late, And for the second time of asking, it is green flag here in Bahrain. And we got one of the V cars trying to go side by side to turn one. Emma deciding not to fight Catherine Dilking this time around. She is definitely trying to play it safe for now, as we've got warnings already in the background and penalties galore, as it's a bump and wheel going in towards turn 3 and 4. One of the brake marker boards has gone off. Nessa in third place has been chased by Hannah's. Hannah's had enough. Hannah's had enough in towards turn 4. Luckily, Hannah is ghosted, and someone did say that this restart is going to be juicy. Unfortunately, it has not gone to plan. If you're Vanessa Schaff, who's dropped down quite a few positions, but Alexis, look at Melissa Muller, because she was able to on for a second podium in W1, and the first podium, might I ask, was in round 2 around Japan in season 1.
Oh,
she could get a
huge
second
shot in the
podium.
wall. Angel Kirby out of the race. That is
Safety car.
another safety car. Huge.
Safety cars breed safety cars, and yeah, unfortunately we got another one, but that was very chaotic there. So let's look at that restart. Actually, I think the front two, were glad they didn't get involved in this. It all started from like P3, going 3 wide in towards T1. And also, let's watch Melissa for the time being. You can see everyone else struggling, and Melissa's just going to probably dive it up, going through goes Lewis Hamilton moment. And that's exactly what she's done. And she's got an opportunity to now try and close into Catherine Dilking and Emma Clay. So we could get a safety car finish, just like we saw in Abu Dhabi season 1. Yeah, that is going to be interesting. So we got Regan, who has just raided us. Thank you, Regan, for the raid, my friend. Again, sorry that your race has not gone to plan, as Lily has got a 10-second penalty. Good chance for Heather, though, to serve her 10-second penalty, because I believe she did get one. So plenty of people. Now, that is interesting. Could we see some drivers go on to a set of the soft? I don't think it will make it at this point, but for some drivers, it's just a risk worth taking for some people. I still think it won't get to the end, but as we're saying, softs can last, I think, longer than some other circuits. So we'll see what happens, see what they could do. It's only about 9 laps to go of the. Well, no, it's not 9 laps to go, because a few people are 1 lap down. So we're on lap 23, so don't panic. It's just Lily is on lap 21 at the moment. So there we go. So unfortunately, she's going to be lapped compared to everybody else. And yes, we've got an Aston Martin safety car leading the race, because we haven't got one in real life, unfortunately, because there's only a Mercedes at the moment. And what have you spotted, Alexis?
So we've got Charlotte Perkins back up to P5. This is a race of 2 stories here. Charlotte Perkins, amazing that 1, but then dropped down tons. Now back up to P5. Could we have a McLaren challenging for a win against absolutely all odds, thanks to these 2 safety cars?
This could happen. Don't forget, she was involved in, I think, quite a few incidents at the start that we didn't see, even though she went up to 9th in laps 1 and 2. But this could be a chance. Don't forget, she started 19th in season 1, but there was no safety car, and she went on to finish on the podium. She won last week in Monza after starting pole. She didn't start pole here today because she had tech issues, but could she be on course, like you were saying, to win out of any odds? I think it's still doable for Charlotte Perkins. Of course, the top 5 are on a set of the medium compounded tyres. So is Farah as well in 6th place. So that is very impressive. The ones who were just able to just play it safe and not get involved in too many things too early, they were able to go from it. And that's what you have to learn in a league racing scenario. If you got still plenty of laps to go, don't go for too many risky moves until you get to the end of the races. Oh, no!
Oh.
Charlotte Perkins, 10-second time penalty for severe collision with Farah there. And we're on the safety car. Now, that is weird, Alexis.
That is strange. Was there a potential just a slowdown there? Or
Let's look at the replay. Oh, that was a bit of contact there, it looked like. Or
was Charlotte weaving?
You are allowed to weave, of course, but if I think the danger was that Farah was too close. Farah was too close in the Red Bull car, and as in the rule book, as I should know because I wrote the rulebook, the rulebook states that you've got to keep within a decent amount of distance between the cars ahead and the cars behind. So you can't be too close and you can't be too far back either. You've got to leave a decent gap. So if you weave, you can't, ideally you've got to leave. I think this is just right. But if you get a little bit too close, that's going to be a bit of a worry, I think. So that's hopefully the drivers have read the rule book, but that's what it does say. Leave a decent gap between the cars behind and the cars in front of you. As a safety car, it's in this lap. Alexis, who is going to... Oh, we've got another 10-second penalty again. Who do you think is going to gain off the start this time?
I'm going to go with Melissa Muller because she's... Oh, we've got cars off. We got a lot of cars off in the back lane.
Okay. Ripley's out of the session.
Look, she's got no wing. That looks like to be a pause menu retire. But as we have Field King off quite early, but has not jumped Emma Clay. Is this going to be moving to turn 1? It's going to be close.
We'll see. It's going to be close into turn 1. This is Emma's opportunity that she didn't do in the last time of asking, but to be honest, she's probably glad that she didn't do it. So Emma stayed in second place. Catherine Field King leads this race as Nessa's dropped down. Nessa's had a bit of an off. She's spun. So what if she's made contact with someone? Hannah's got a penalty. So unfortunately, her chance for podium is pretty much done. Melissa Muller stays in third place. Hannah trying to make her way through the field, and so is Olivia Collins. They got caught up in that drama earlier on. And Melissa Muller, who's on course for a second podium in W1 Sim Series, is unfortunately it's not going to work because she's got picked herself a 3-second time penalty right now. So that is very unfortunate. Yvonne's also picked up a time penalty too, and we're approaching the final few stages of this race where this DRS train is going to go on for absolutely miles here. And if you got no penalties at all, you're going to probably climb up. So yes, Olivia Collins is in P10. She can still climb so many places. Thank goodness, by the way, we don't have any stewards this race, because I know if it was a real W1 Sim Series race, the stewards are going to be busy. So, but oh, there's a bit of contact there. That's Jazz and one of the Aston Martins again. Of course, there's only one Aston Martin in this race. Don't forget, Lily is a lap down. Charlotte Perkins picked herself another 3-second time penalty. And as you were saying, as Victoria was saying, it is quite a lot of new drivers in this race, and they're still learning the rules of league racing, and they will learn so much about racecraft in this social race alone as they prepare for season 2. So yes, they can make mistakes now, but as long as they don't make it in the first few races, they should be absolutely fine. But this is the right place to do it, is for making mistakes now and not when the championship counts, as we got Hannah trying to attack. Oh, there's a bit of contact there. A spin from Carlotta there. I'm worried we could get another safety car here. Please don't touch wood. But yeah, a lot of different experience here, Alexis, and that is important. So the people in the chat have got to understand that yes, people do make mistakes, but they are learning, because not everyone has come from a league racing background.
No, especially not. I think last season, when the mid-season reserve, I think last season, quite a huge chunk of the grid, as we see a mistake from Vanessa there, but as I was saying, quite a large chunk of the grid had never done a league race before W1, and it is just amazing to see all their progress. We've had Heather constantly pushing, constantly trying. We've got Regan, who unfortunately has retired this race, did get a new wheel earlier, and of course was a very late call to this race. Hence the mistake probably, hence the struggling. But as we have Field King set the fastest lap and just getting a little bit of the comfort zone from Emma, but still within that DRS.
Still within that DRS, and with them having the same tyres, I think Emma's just playing it safe for the moment, saving that battery, staying with that in that DRS range of Catherine Field King. And because Emma didn't drop down to 3rd or 4th, whatever, she can have Catherine Field King in her sights. We got the pole sitter versus the 2nd place lady from last season's race. And Catherine's starting to almost break free of Emma Clay, so she's got to be careful. She is charging the battery, Emma Clay, so she is doing all she can Let us know in the live chat. Do you think Emma could pull off a last move and win this race, or do you think it would go to Catherine Fieldking? And of course, this racing league is known to be a development league. So yes, there will be some experienced drivers, but the experienced drivers have got to understand that the newer drivers are learning as they speak, and probably give them some tips as well. As we can see, Hannah almost going for the move on Katie there, but unfortunately can't quite make the move stick. It's very brave to go through it there. But don't forget, Hannah's on those soft compounded tyres. I believe Katie is still on the hards. So Hannah's going to be having the grip at this stage, but it's not really that long for the softs go. I think it's about 5 laps for the softs just like go dead, speaking from experience, as we're on lap 28 at the moment. So on the penultimate lap of asking, Catherine Fieldking's at leads. Olivia Collins get the fastest lap of the race, so they would get a point at the moment if it was a real W1 Sim Series race. Hannah's going to try and go for the move there because she's got the DRS. Nope, she's not going to go for it just yet. I think it's safe to say, unless Emma could find ridiculous amount of time, I think Fieldking's going to win this one. Meanwhile, Hannah is going to go for the move around the outside already before the braking zone, through into 7th place, but she's going to lose it due to a penalty. Meanwhile, Emma's teammate, Carlotta, is going to chase down Heather for P30. I'm glad I'm not having to do the maths on these penalties, because look at the amount of penalties that we got from our drivers. I don't know who's going to be doing well. I think Melissa Muller will only fall down to 5th, so at least she'll still get a top 5 in this race, but I think a podium was definitely on that side. But unfortunately, that last minute 3-second penalty has costed her. Emma's just found a lot of time in that middle sector. The race win challenge is still not over, but we got Farah versus Melissa for 4th place on the road. You don't want to be fighting too much, Melissa, because you've got Olivia Collins and Farah's at the moment. She could have been on for a podium, and she made a mistake like that. If I was out, I would have played it safe between you and Melissa and fight with Olivia. But Olivia's on course to be getting 3rd place on the road despite having a 10-second time penalty. What a comeback for Olivia Collins. But the safety car, there was 2 safety cars, but sometimes you've got to have a bit of luck. But we got the final lap of this race, and Emma's chasing down Catherine Fieldking. She's got the ERS to use. Can Emma Clay do it? We'll have to wait and see, Alexis.
Whatever happens, whoever wins this, it has been a sensational race from both of these 2 drivers, Fieldking and Clay. Great race, we're going to see that down to the right last second. Emma attacking the track at all times, just trying to inch closer to Fieldking. 1 DRS zone left, 1 more opportunity into turn 11, and then 1 more final opportunity into the penultimate corner. Does Emma have the pace? Can Catherine just keep it ahead of Emma? Because you don't have to win by much, but you just have to.
As long as you win.
As long as you win.
We've seen many races come down to, I think, thousandths of a second in league racing. So, but I think Catherine just had the pace all race long. Yes, we had that safety car, but she had the pace to come out in the lead anyway, despite Emma pitting a lap later and her gaining time under the safety car. These 2 have driven fantastically today. Emma said she had no confidence in Bahrain, but she's going to go home with a P2. Catherine, who finished P2 on that day 1 season ago, is going to be on the top step of the podium this time. Catherine Fieldking wins in Bahrain. Emma Clay gets 2nd. And Olivia Collins will get 3rd. Charlotte Perkins, will see where she drops in just a moment. Farah gets 4th. Oh, there's lots of penalties being dropped left, right and centre here. Katie gets 6th out of all of this. Her best result in W1. She will take that, but only by 3/100ths of a second. What could have been for Vanessa Schaff is she's dropped down to 8th. Sarah Hardy in 9th. Her best result so far. And Hannah dropped down to 10. Yes, it's better than what we saw last week in Monza, but she didn't left and she could have got onto the podium as well. Plenty of drama, plenty of action, and plenty of what could have, but there's one lady who was at the front throughout the entire thing, and who would have doubted her? It is Miss Catherine Fieldking. I think one of the favourites to take the Season 2 championship.
Fieldking, it was an amazing race. She absolutely dominated the first stint, even though she, of course, was on the harder tyre. And then she expertly did both safety cars to just stay in the lead both times. Amazing drive from the American driver.
I think Carl Paranik Alexis will probably be hoping he wish he probably would have been here because his favourite team is at the top. Anyway, we'll go race winner is Catherine Field-King. We got fastest lap Olivia Collins, driver of the day and most overtakes belong to Charlotte Perkins, and cleanest driver belongs to Emma Clay. And to be honest, she was one of, I think, a few drivers. I think Catherine Field-King and Emma Clay, one or two drivers to pick up 0 warnings in that race. So fair play. So here are your results then from top to bottom. Catherine wins from Emma Clay in second. Olivia Collins rounds up that final spot on the podium. Farrah in fourth, just misses out. And we got Melissa Muller, Katie, Charlotte Perkins, Vanessa Schaff, Sarah Hardy, Hannah Mamnuvara, Carlotta Markey, Heather. We got Lainey Milligan. We got Jazz Luna, Nicole. We got Yvonne, we got Lily, we got Ripley, we got Angel, and we got 2 DNFers of Angel Kirby and Reagan. And all things considered, only have 2 DNFers is not too bad. And that's that race over. Of course, we got one final social race next time out in 2 weeks. Of course, we don't know the track, but apart from obviously the top 2, any standout drivers do you think, especially without the last 9 laps? Who do you think impressed you?
Personally, Olivia Collins' comeback drive after all the chaos. She could have won that race because she was absolutely rapid, getting, I believe, the fastest lap by 7/10 of a second. That's pretty impressive. You also had Melissa Muller, who was up there for quite a lot of it, but unfortunately got a 3-second penalty. But my driver of the day has to be Charlotte Perkins because, quite frankly, she flew. She was so fast and unlucky. Hunt with the 10-second penalty and the early collision forcing her to pit again. Great drive from Charlotte there.
Good recovery as well. Again, yes, that safety car helped her, but that thing happens sometime. And Alexis, since you made your commentary, JB, I'll let you decide who would we like to interview first. Should we interview P3 first of Olivia Collins, or should we interview Catherine Field-King first?
I think we should start with P3 with Olivia Collins and then work our way up to P1.
Yeah, we might as well. Of course, the driver that missed out last week due to pedal issues, but now ends up on the podium for the first time. Welcome in, Olivia. Those last laps was probably nail-biting for you, but congratulations on that podium. Do you think you were expecting that after those 2 safety cars?
Wait, whoops. Wait, I think I've muted. No, okay, fine. No, I didn't. Especially when I pitted for soft and was P13 after the pit stop. It was hard, but I pushed as hard as I could. It was unlucky for Charlotte to get that 13 second, but I wasn't thinking I was going to get P3 today, especially off my pit stop and just going to go for a short sprint on the hards, not hard softs.
Yeah, honestly, I think we were both gutted when we saw the 10-second next to your name there. Whilst you were on that hard stint, what was your focus? Because you were able to close in ever so slightly with that undercut. If you still had that 10-second at that point, where would you have hoped to have finished there?
I would hope around the top 5 area, but I think I would have got within at least the top 3 because on my hard stint I had a lot of pace. I felt my just whole hard stint, but I think it was a pretty positive result for the first race that I get to finish.
Yeah, honestly, at the start of the race that your pedal issues were gonna come again as well. But that first safety car restart, I think there was 3 of you going 3 wide into turn 1. Of course, it was a social race. Do you think maybe one of you could have backed off a little bit, or did you really just had to defend for your life here?
To be fair, lap 1, turn 1 was a bit of a blur to me. I think most of my thoughts was just keep it clean, to be honest. Especially at my turn 4, I had 2 brilliant moves on the outside. I'm very happy with that.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
Yeah, I do think it was a really good race. I mean, towards the end of the race, 10 laps at the end, I do think it was just a bit dirty, especially at the second safety car, everything blew up. But I think
It's a
I
social race.
carved my way.
So-
Yeah. It was a bit odd to me, but I carved my way through the chaos and came home with P3.
Which honestly, after you not racing last week, obviously, well deserved. I think in my notes, I put you as one of the ones to watch out for because obviously the unknowns, and you're more than likely going to be racing next time out in Social Race 4. What track would you don't want to see on the wheel as the drivers get to vote? Well, not the drivers, the community get a vote in about a week's time.
Track I don't want to see. Tough one to be fair. There's loads of circuits I hate, but there's also some I like. Probably like Qatar or like Canada. It's one of the two. I can't decide.
You say you don't like those, and what track would you want to see?
I would love to see Imola.
Oh, I like Imola as well.
It is so fun.
I think Ferrari Esports are probably grinning, and so is Emma and Nutrix as well, because of course it's their home circuit.
Yeah,
so they're probably hoping it's going to be that.
I'm a massive fan of Imola. It's so fun, especially the racing. It's so close at Imola.
Yeah, it is. It's always fun. I could agree with you. Imola's one of my favourites as well. Alexis, your turn to ask a question to Olivia. The floor is yours.
So, of course, we have the vote for next social race. What if Monaco's there? Would you be voting for Monaco?
Absolutely not. I hate Monaco. I mean, it's good for to be fair, it's a good track to maybe do quali in. I think in one of my leagues I got like P5. Then I bottled it in the race because it's Monaco. What do you expect? But I would hate if Monaco was on that top 3. Jesus.
Well, you're probably glad, Olivia, that I don't want Monaco either, even though I'm good at it in the dry. I do not want to see it on the wheel, please. But Olivia, thank you so much for chatting to us. I will probably see you on the track in about 2 weeks' time because I'll be racing there. But best of luck for the final social race. And do you think you could challenge for the win next time? You got a podium now. Your next target is the win now, isn't it?
Yep, I think depending on track or depending how I'm feeling during the week, I should hopefully be either another podium or definitely the victory.
Okay, well, we'll let you go and enjoy the rest of your evening. Our P3 sitter, Miss Olivia Collins. Well done. Right then, so we're going to move on to our second place driver who didn't think she was going to be on the podium going into this race, but she is on the podium. How did you find that, Emma?
Well, that was certainly an interesting race. I'm actually quite pleased with this result because last time in Bahrain I finished 7th and was practically had no pace. Yeah, it's a massive improvement and I'm just really pleased.
How do you think you improved so much on the tracks? Of course, you got pole by quite some way, about 4 tenths per second. What have you worked on this track compared to last time to help you improve your consistency, do you think? Or is it just like you were probably more alert? I don't know.
Yeah, definitely more alert. But in the last time I did Bahrain, I was using medium traction. And using no traction definitely has added quite a bit of pace to me. And I just think as a person, I've improved certainly across, Bahrain, I think it was like the 3rd round or something in W1 last season. So it was quite early days. But yeah, just massive personal improvement, I think.
Yeah, I think we were watching throughout the race, just the improvement already in Bahrain has been incredible. And of course, you were on the hard compounded tyres. I think Catherine was on the hards too. Was that your choice throughout to start on the hard compounded tyres, or were you thinking of starting the medium last minute? Talk us through your strategy choices.
Yeah, I mean, thinking about my last time in Bahrain, I started on the mediums, and I was a bit quick at the start, but then I was just so slow throughout the rest of the race. So I thought I'd go different. I'm not very accustomed to starting on the hards, the alternate strategy, but around Bahrain, it's not a bad strategy to do. And luckily, the safety car came out on my pit lap as well, so that was nice.
I was going to ask that question. How relieved were you when the safety car got called?
It was a nice feeling, but I definitely think I could have got at least P3 or P2 anyway if the safety car wouldn't have come out. Because in my practice, my the medium stint was definitely my best stint, and I was just looking at the fastest lap of the race. I'm not sure what it was. I think it was in the 31s. I'm not sure, but my pace was definitely a lot quicker than that. So
it was a 30.2, the fastest lap, but that was on the soft.
On the soft, okay.
Yeah,
I'm not sure on the medium.
The fastest on the mediums was by Catherine Filking, a 30.9. So you weren't that far off in terms of pace.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I definitely think I could have caught back up. I think it was Olivia and Vanessa who was in P2 and 3 at that time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just pleased, really.
Yeah, you must be, because you even said, "Oh, I'm not going to do well." But sometimes if you set low expectations, you're probably going to do well. Social race 4. What track would you want to see come up in the poll? And what track would you not want to see come up on the poll?
Definitely don't want to see Miami, but that was already in our poll, so that's not going to be a choice. Don't want to see Brazil, because I was terrible last season at Brazil.
So was I.
Maybe Japan. I won Japan last season, and
yes, please. Yeah. Oh, I love Japan. Thank you. I got a podium there.
Yeah, that would be a pretty cool track to see. That would be pretty cool.
Yeah. So Emma and me, I pray to the gods that Japan is on the poll. but there we go. Alexis, any questions?
I do have a very good question for you, Emma.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Do you like pancakes?
Oh, how do I answer that question? Okay. If it's going to be American pancakes, I'm not a massive fan because they're a bit too dense for me, but I do like a thin pancake, and sometimes a savory pancake is nice too.
Oh, I knew you were going to ask that. I was shocked you didn't ask that to Olivia, actually. Emma will let you go, but a much better result from you this time around. And fingers crossed, you could potentially get another win if you're racing in the next race. But if not, we'll hopefully see you for season 2. So congratulations on your brilliant P2 finish.
Cheers, guys. Thanks. Bye.
Bye-bye. And now let's head on to the one who just missed out on the win last time in the first social race and missed out in Bahrain last time we were here, but was able to get it this time. Catherine Filking, congratulations. You just had the pace all this time, and you missed out last time, but now you got the win this time. How good is it to get a win in the season 2 social races now?
Sorry, 1 second. My headphones are on the wrong output.
Oh no! Right, can you hear us now, Catherine?
Oh, yep, I got it. Okay.
Yay! There we go. I will say that question again. Brilliant form throughout the entirety of the race. Even during those safety cars, you were able to hold off Emma Clay. No one was able to match you. You just like Bahrain, don't you? How does it feel to get your first social race win of season 2?
I think this win feels amazing. I think I put it all out there on the track, and I'm just really happy my performance today matches the result, unlike last time where I had that disconnection. It's like 10,
yes,
seconds.
that was it. Yeah, you were still able to get a decent result even after that disconnection. Now, put it into perspective, I've got some stats here. You only led 4 laps around Bahrain last time we were here. You led probably most of the race around here in Bahrain, so you probably tripled your lap record there. Of course, you started on the hard compounded tyres. Of course, you were probably relieved that everyone else in behind you were fighting in the background. Do you think the clear air was probably the thing which helped you win today? Because even during that safety car, when Emma pitted, you were still able to go out ahead of her. Were you worried that she was going to be in front of you?
Oh yeah. My plan for the start of the race was just to try to get ahead and get that clean air, and try to use my pace and pull away from the field while everyone behind me fights, as I've done that a few times before. But yeah, I did have some worries if Emma was able to catch up, because she was very, very quick today. But I'm glad I was able to hold that gap.
Yeah, because I think you must have been worried during that final safety car. Were you effectively managing your ERS because you were right in front? Were you able to save in like the braking zones, or were you just on the edge of like running out?
Yeah, I was like using my entire battery those last couple of laps. I was just pushing as much as I can to try and pull away, but Emma, like I said, is too quick, and she almost got me on that last lap. But
luckily, you were able to save some ERS. So all good. So let's talk about season 2, because of course you'll be definitely fine for the title after what we saw today. After what we saw in Belgium and what we saw here in Bahrain, are you starting to get more confident that you could take the fight to Lee and some other drivers?
yeah, that confidence is slowly building up. Kind of during my off time, I've been working on my mental fortitude and my focus, and try to limit the mistakes as much as possible. So hopefully I can bring the fight next season and keep that confidence up throughout the season.
And that confidence is showing. And yes, you were building up and saying that mental part is just important, which is what I'm learning in my other league actually. That to be mentally prepared, because it's more mentally important to be on a good state than physically important, in my opinion. But Alexis, I know you've been waiting to say that question. What's the question you're going to ask our race winner?
So, Catherine, as you know, I am very, very much inclined to ask you this question, and I will. Do you like pancakes?
I do like pancakes. I do like chocolate chip pancakes. However, I think I'm more of a waffle person. I like, there's more surface area for that crisp,
I love
the crunch. So
I love waffles. There we go. I got one more question actually about the next social race. I don't even know if you're going to be racing or not. Don't ask me, ask Victoria. She's doing the lineups. But what track would you want to see, and what track do you not want to see race for the final social race of season 2?
I don't think there's any track I don't want to see. Maybe Hungary, just because that's just a very physical and mental race. Maybe Baku. That's kind of a crazy option, but Baku's kind of tight in the castle section, but maybe
I hate
this development league. Maybe it's not the best idea, but hey.
My favourite part of the track.
As long as you don't do a Charles Leclerc, I am stupid, you're probably doing better than him. We will let you enjoy the rest of your evening, and if you're not racing with us in the final social race, hopefully we'll see you for season 2. Our race winner, Catherine Filkin. Congratulations.
Bye.
Right then, so we are about to wrap up the social race 3 and about to wrap up Alexis' commentary debut. How did you find your first ever commentary there? There was a lot of action going on, which was so hard to keep up there, but it must have been a lot of fun for you.
Oh, it was great. It's great watching the race and actually it's almost like being part of the race, except you're not part of the race, you're commentating. It's actually really fun. I've really enjoyed it here.
Yeah, and I have to say you've done an amazing job, and of course this is the only opportunity we get, because both of us are more than likely going to be on the grid this next season. So I'd just like to say thank you to W1 for giving us opportunity. Of course, you'll have different commentators next time out, so the ones who have signed up to be commentators will get a chance to talk to you, lovely lot, just as much as us. So before we go, I'd like to say a quick thank you to a lot of people. Thank you to all the drivers that are racing today. Of course, thank you to our sponsor, Sim Racing Centre, who will be partnering with us for season 2. Of course, thank you to TK for joining me in qualifying whilst Alexis was sorting out a few things, and of course doing the producing behind the scenes. Everything that you saw tonight, controlling the cameras, right, came from him. And also make sure you follow us on our socials at W1 Series on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and of course YouTube, and also follow us on Twitch if you haven't already. Alexis, where can we find you on the socials?
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok, and the link here. It's on the other side.
Yay, there we go.
And I would like to say thank you very much to you, Jess, for being in commentary tonight. It's been a great time, and thank you very much to W1 and all the amazing drivers who proved a very good race today.
It's been lovely to have you. Thank you for being in the box with me. And as far as me is concerned, in terms of my socials, I'm everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube. I'm JessGames95, and I upload my W1 Sim Series POVs on YouTube, so you can check it out there when I next race. But make sure you follow all of our W1 Sim Series drivers, and also I would appreciate if you follow Alexis on Twitch as well, as the channel has just given her a shout out.
I
yes,
use you. I stream on YouTube.
I know, but you do have a Twitch account, so you're probably going to get some follows. So share the love in the YouTube chat, everybody, and Twitch for Alexis, because she did a great job. Thank you so much for watching. We'll let you enjoy the rest of your evening, but we will see you in 2 weeks' time, because next week is F1 Sim Racing. We don't want to clash with that. So we'll see you in 2 weeks' time for Social Race 4 at a track which will be decided by you lot on Instagram. So keep an eye on Instagram in a week's time, where you get to vote in a poll on which track the drivers will be racing at. So take care, everybody. See you in 2 weeks' time. Goodbye.
Goodbye.